Is it recorded? Okay, good. Okay, a very good morning again, everyone. Welcome back. So I hope you have a good rest. Now I'm going to show you the second demo. The first demo just now was about the consolidated range, this consolidated range. But now I'm going to talk about this. As I explained earlier, this one, like column A to column I, is actually a fixed data of when they buy, what they buy, okay, and so on. Then this is actually from the outlet. Now, this particular data is actually coming from those chain outlet, something like Speedmart lah, something like Speedmart. So they have this thing called outlet number. Okay, you zoom in. They got the outlet number. They have the outlet name. Now I changed all of it already lah. So I call it NS, Malacca, JB, Penang, and so on. So I want you to pay attention to this. The outlet number, which is 1001, is actually sharing the column with, they're sharing column with the quantity. And then the outlet name is sharing column with the sales amount. You guys understand? The earlier exercise, there's only one column that is sharing. But this time, there are two columns that is sharing. So the approach will be slightly different. If you know how to do the number one, good enough. But now it's number two. So there will be slight different compared to the first approach. If you know the second one, then you can do any number of column really. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show you. This is the data. And my final outcome is like this. Column A until column I is until the unit price. Okay. Then we have outlet number, outlet name, quantity, and sales amount. Right. So there will be an unpivot that we need to do. Right. So let me just close this guy. So I'm going to put that into my sheet number 3 here. All right. So I'm going to go to get data from file, from Excel. So assuming it's a completely different file, import. So this time I'm going to take from the worksheet called report. Here, report. This is how they look like just now, man. Transform. Okay, so the data has been loaded into my Microsoft Power Query. So that's the data. Now remember I told you that from date all the way to the unit price, date until the unit price, these are the static column, right? And then starting from this column 10 onwards, this is where the sharing takes place. 1001 is the quantity, 1002 is also the quantity, then the NS is sharing with the sales amount, Malacca is also sharing with the sales amount. So it keep repeated for the next 6 outlets. Okay. So what I'm going to do is a little bit reverse of what we learned just now. So I'm going to select column 1 all the way to column 9, which is the unit price. Okay. Now earlier, I said that I want my first row, right, become my header, right? Become my header. So in order to do that, if I do that now, then this now will become my header. Right? So I want this row number 3 to be filled up. So I right click on any of this column. I say, let's fill it up. Because now we use fill down, right? Now we fill up. See, it goes all the way up. This is something that you cannot do it easily in Microsoft Excel. So all done already, right? Now, don't worry, there are repeated title on top here. Then just leave it. Don't bother about it. So let's go to the right-hand side now. Now, if you look carefully, row number 2 is what I want to use as my header later. So my row number 1, I need to remove it. So does anyone here has any idea how do I remove my row number 1? Can you type in the chat or you want to unmute and tell me? How do I remove? Untick the null. Exactly. So now you get the idea, right? It's going to be repeated. So I go to column 11 lah. Then I say, okay, take away the null. Now they are gone. So with this row number 1 now will be my header, right? But before we go, one last time, let me talk about it. Your outlet number is sharing with quantity. Your outlet name is sharing with sales amount. I repeated this many times already. Number with quantity, name with sales amount. Okay, so let's tell them use first row as header. Ta-da, go up already. Okay. Now, since I already have all the header, right? Then I don't need all this category again. See, BU business, I don't know what is this lah. BU 10 barcode, and then we got a unit price, then we have unit price. So I just filter lor. I tell them I don't want the unit price. Filter it out. So when I click this and I say I want to filter out the unit price, which means the word sales quantity and the sales amount will also be removed. Now that's the reason why I keep asking you to remember the number that you see below the 1001, these are actually the quantity. The number below all this market, sorry, not market, the outlet name, all these are your sales amount. Okay, so remember that. So I'm going to select from date all the way to unit price. Now these are the static one, but the rest of this, I want it to be unpivoted. So what do? Right click, unpivot other column. Now up to this stage, you don't really see any difference compared to the first step. Okay, almost done already, right? So if you notice now, why is this thing repeated so many times? Now that's because if I draw this out, you see, this is Americano. These are all also Americano up to here. So there are how many? 001, 002, 003, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 outlets. 6 outlets. Okay? But every information is actually 2 rows. The one on top is the outlet number. The one below is the outlet name. You guys understand? It's actually 2 rows is equivalent to 1 set of data. So now I need to take this 1001 and I tell them this is your outlet number. I need to take out the NS and I tell them this is your outlet name. Now, how can I tell them the first one and the second one, the first one and the second one, the first one and the second one? At the moment, it's impossible. Okay, so the approach is 1 step extra. Okay, or should I say a few steps extra. You need to give them an index number. Okay, so let me show you this. I'm going to add column. In that add column, I'm going to put this thing called the index column, and I'm going to start with 1. Now, when I add the column index number 1, what you see now at the back here is a column called index, and it start 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, and then. So this is called the index number in the descending order of 1 all the way down. Okay. Now, I can't use this at the moment. Not yet. Okay, not yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to add another column. In this case, I'm going to ask Excel to do this. Okay, go to the standard, and tell them to use modulo. Okay. How many row is actually 1 set of data? 2, right? So I put 2. 2. So I take 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 like that. So now you notice I have something different here. So the 1 is 1, the 2 is 0, the 3 is 1, the 4 is 0. Now, what is the meaning of this? Okay, so I'm going to take this set of number, not all, I just tell you. Okay, so let me do this. I take 10, I divide it by, now, how many data? 2, right? So I divide by 2. So the answer is 5. Sorry for my handwriting. So 5 times 2 is 10. What is the balance? The balance is 0. Now, this is what we call the mod, or should I say modulo. In Bahasa Malaysia, we call it baki lah. Baki selepas bahagi. Apakah balance dia, baki dia? Okay. Now, I'm going to use another number. Now, I'm going to use, let's say, 13. Okay, I'm going to use 13. 1, 3, I divide by 2. So this one is 6. 6 times 2, 12. Baki dia 1. Okay, so again, this is the modulo. That's why you see, for 10, the modulo is 0. For 13, the modulo is 1. And they keep repeating. They keep repeating. So I have 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Now, so what happened now, I can use this for my conditional column. Then, so I tell them now, with my modulo, I put there conditional column. So if my modulo is equals to 1, if my modulo is equals to 1, then I want them to select a column, select the attribute. Jadi kalau dia 1, kita ambil attribute. Attribute is 1001. 1 is 1002. This one 1, this is 1003. So, apa yang kita keluarkan? Kita keluarkan apa dalam attribute? Kita keluarkan outlet number. Kita keluarkan outlet number dia. Okay? So when I hit OK, so you have the outlet number extracted already. All you need to do is just fill down. So outlet number, beres. So if you have taken out the outlet number, so what's left in the attribute? You have the outlet name. You have the outlet name. Okay, so we have the outlet number, we have the outlet name. So now we're going to attack the value. Again, we do the same thing. We tell them, if my modulo is equals to 1, now sama tak? Sama dengan tadi kan? Cuma sekarang, kita tak nak ambil daripada attribute dah. Attribute pun sudah hilang. Sebab I sudah tukar nama dia menjadi outlet name. So what do I do? I take out from value. So when I hit OK, this value, number 1 here, is actually the quantity. Oh, I lupa tukar nama dia. I tukar ni jadi quantity. So this is the quantity. So if I already taken out the quantity, the first one, that means the second one, the 0, 0, 0, this one is actually the sales amount. Betul tak? So I put the quantity here. So both of these, I will change it to, this one is whole number because quantity. I just right click and fill it down. Fill it down is quantity. And then I have sales amount. I also change this one to, now for this sales amount, I change it to decimal. So now 1, 2, 3, 4 sudah siap. Okay. Now not done yet. You have to go to the modulo. Now our conditional column just now, we keep saying if the modulo is equal to 1. So we have used up the 1 already. Therefore, we only keep the 0. We take away the 1. So I try not to complicate the matter. So I just use equal to 1, equal to 1. Then what I keep is 0. The one that the number 1 that I already used, I tell them please go away. So now my data is clean already. So these two column, I can delete, remove column. Right. So once I'm done, I just have to close and load to a pivot table. All right. So I can actually do things like what? Category. Then I can take the sales amount. There you go. So I have two category for product. So each of the category, I want to show the product name. These are the product name. Daily use, food group. I can do this kind of report. So if I want to break this down uh, by outlet name, so I take this one, I put it on top of the category, also can. Then I decided to put the category on top, also can. Okay. Up to you lah, category. So you don't want the name, just put this. Or you want to put the category here. So by branch, by the outlet name, these are the awesome product they use. So if you don't want to go by the category, you want to go by the item name. So these are the item that they sell. Maybe terbalikkan lah. Item name, outlet name. That is easy to see. Okay, you all follow? So you notice how flexible the report can be, right? Mm. I like this one. And that's all. Now, I only have 5 days of record. So in that original file, if I have every day, I have closing, right? So I add in the data for the closing every day. When I come here, I just have to right click and refresh for that particular month. It's basically the same process for each of the exercises. So I created it in the build up like a stack, like a ladder like this. You know the basic, then you go to the next level. After the next level, you may encounter more problem. So you go to another level. That's where you use something called the index column and modulo. You just put in the number first, then you tell them modulo. Now, there are times where you have three column is equivalent to one set of data. So you divide by three, lor. You know what I mean? If you have four sets of column, it's actually one set of data, then you divide by four. So the modulo, it depends lah. So in this example, the raw data only have like one is outlet number, one is outlet name. So two column. So I divide by two just now. You guys okay with this? Now don't worry, you don't have to do this. Watch the video. The second, because I stopped the video earlier, now I started a new one, which means you're going to receive two videos. The first video is the first half before the break, and after the break, I started another record, so there will be two video altogether lah. So you don't have to watch a 4 hour video. You can watch the first video first, then the second video. Okay, and I will be not doing any editing lah. So you found that I've been repeating some of them because of the question. You can fast forward it lah. Fast forward it. So for those of you who attended the training, you will know, lor. But for those of them who did not attend the training, it's very hard for you to know where I actually stopped. Okay. So in order to do it fast, I don't edit the video. Okay. So this is the example of how you can use Power Query to clean up your data. Cleansing the data, then you output it out and refresh. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. That's what we have covered the first part here. Okay. Now I'm going to spend the next 1 hour to talk about preparing your report using pivot table. Okay, and how do you build a simple dashboard and make it interactive? Okay, so type a ready if you are okay to move on. Just type ready. Don't worry about the last exercise. You can watch the video and do it on your own. And ask question in the WhatsApp group chat. Okay, so I'm going to close my file, save it. Right. So very good. So let's open up the file number 3 then. So this file number 3 has nothing to do with the first part of the thing that we do, because those data are too small. I want you to experience using a full set of data that is uh, big. In this case, we have column A until column W. No, it's column, is it W? No, it's all until column V. About 22 or 20, 21, 22 or 23 column, somewhere around there. Okay. I think it's 22, if I'm not mistaken, 22 column. And how many records are there? The one that we saw just now is only 2000. What about this one? We have about 8,399 records. Okay. Now, why I say 8399? Because the first row is a header, it's not a record. So 8399 records altogether. Okay. So let me explain to you this database first before we generate the report. So we have the document number, order date. No, this is not order date. This is the order ID. Okay, the order ID, and followed by the date. Who is the customer? See, this customer buy multiple times, right? And different order ID. Maybe you come in and go out, come in and go out. Then we have a segment, we have region, we have sales manager. So for the segment, we have 3 segments. I think of 4 segments. So we have corporate, consumer, small business, and home office. Yeah, home office. There are 4 segments. For region, I think we have a couple of region. We have central, east, north, south, and west. North, south, east, west, and central, in other words. So for the manager, we have 4 manager, Chris, Aaron, Sam, and William. Okay, then this is the product-based margin, the cost of the product, unit price sold. Then we have the order quantity. Okay, so this order quantity. Now for this gross sales, what you see in the column L, let's say I click on L2, it's actually a formula. If I double click this, they take the unit price and multiply with the order quantity. There's a formula in here. So this is the discount. So the net sales, oh sorry, the net sales over here is the same formula we did just now. Okay, so there's a formula minus the discount. Then you got the shipping cost. The shipping cost is a fixed value, it's not a formula, and the total amount. So the net sales minus plus the shipping cost, that is the total amount the customer have to pay. Now, what about your net profit? So the net profit will take the total amount, oops, not the total, net sales minus the cost times order quantity. So then we will know how much profit are we making from the sales. So you notice the price. Okay. The sales is 300 plus, but our profit is 132. So it's almost 50% now, almost 50%. And then the rest of the information are like, how are we sending the product? They're sending the product by delivery truck, express air, and regular air. Okay. Then we have things like the product category. There are 3 product category all the way, like furniture, office supply, and technology. Then these are container, the container size that we are sending out. Then we have the subcategory. We have 13 to 14 subcategory altogether in our product. And lastly, this is the product name. Okay. Now, what I'm planning to do is I need to have some mini report based on sales for each of the segment, region, sales manager. I also want to know by product category, product subcategory, or even how much is our delivery based on the different mode of transport. So there are a lot of report that we can create from here. So instead of you writing formula, now we're going to use pivot table to do this. We're going to use pivot table. So you already understand the data, correct? Now, I don't want you to create your pivot table in this file. Remember, this is your database. So what I want you to do is put your database somewhere, your report in another place. Do this for me, yeah? So I'm going to close. Remember, the file is called Excel reporting number 3, yeah? So I'm going to close. No, I'm not going to save anything. I'm going to start another file. I'm going to start a brand new Excel file. So let's see how many of you remember. How can I connect to that main databases now? Anyone? Yes, get data. Very good. Shannon? Data, get data, get data from your Excel file. Awesome. You're getting there. So now you go to the folder and you choose number 3 here. So let's click import. So the file, the worksheet name is called main data. Okay. Now there's nothing for us to transform. So we don't even need to go to Power Query. We just want to connect it because the data is already clean. So all you need to do is just come down here and click what? Load. So you click the drop down, you tell them I want to load to pivot table. Just click in the existing worksheet because this worksheet is empty. So you are now isolating your database one place and then your report in another place. So some of you may not like it. You want everything together. Then you do it inside the file. But in this example, I just want to show you we isolate it because we might have people who are dealing with the database. We may have people who are dealing with report. So two different persons. So don't mix them up. If you put them in the same file, that means when somebody is updating the file, you cannot do anything. Or when you're trying to do the report, the person cannot do the update. So why not, if this is actually delegated in the way that you manage the database, I manage the report, then we can do it this way. Everybody okay with that? So let me go in detail in this pivot table. Now, whenever you go into a pivot table, okay, when you go in pivot table, you will see 3 things that is on the screen. Okay, I go through quickly with you. The first thing is your report area. This is where your report going to appear. But right now, we have not done anything yet. So this is your report area. The second thing you will see is your pivot table field list here. Your pivot table field list. Okay. Now, I believe the one that you are seeing now in your screen, if you are following, the pivot table doesn't look like this one. Why is it my one like this? Now, you can always go to this tools button at the top here. You go to this button here and you tell them, oh, because yours is like that, ma. So I change it to the second one. Because I know I have 22 columns of data. So it's going to be a long list. If I use this, the first layout, then I have to keep scrolling up and down to look for it. Correct? So, but I don't like this, so I change it to a second. Then it's longer like this. And I still have the same thing, filter, row, columns, and value. It's the same thing. It's just the layout is different. Okay? The layout is different. So it's a matter of choice. For me, I prefer this. If you prefer the first one, keep it. There's nothing wrong. Now, the next thing you will see, now this is the second one. The third thing that you will see is the ribbon on top here. Whenever you are inside your pivot table report area, you will see this pivot table analyze and design. So as I mentioned just now, there are 3 things that you see. Number 1, your report area. Number two, your fill list. Number three is your ribbon on top. Okay. Now, okay, what was the discussion there? Insuti show the heart symbol. Shakti says select file and paste. No, not like that. We get data lah, then we connect on it. Say, but if merge can, what do you mean, Shakti, merge? No, not merge. There's no feature called merge. If you want to put it inside the same file, no problem. I'm not against it. Just do it lah. Right? Just that the moment when you have someone trying to update the report, you cannot do update the database. You cannot do the report. Or if you are doing the report, the other person cannot update the database. So unless you are the one that update the database, you are the one that do the report, then you do it in the same file. The consequence is when they are in the same file, the file size is big. Okay? But if you do it this way that I say connect, means your file size is small. Your database is not in here, the file size is smaller. Right, now, let's take a look. Something hilarious will happen now. If you are now, if you are now in your report area, you will see your ribbon on top. You will see your field list on the right. But the moment you click outside here on the empty cell, you'll notice that they go missing. Correct? Your pivot table field is no longer there. Your ribbon on top is not there. Okay, so you are actually sending a signal to Excel. Excel, I no longer want to work on my pivot table. So now all the features go missing. But if you want them back, then you click inside the report area, they will come back. So don't panic when you say, hey, my one not there. So no, the reason they are not there is because you click outside. The moment you click outside, then you say, hey, where did they go? So be careful with where you are. If you are inside your pivot table, you will see that. Understand? Now, what happens if you have them, but, this one, but you go and close it, right? You actually don't want this, right? Now, this pivot table field list can drag out one, right? You can just click and drag it out one if you want to, lah. But I'm just going to leave it like that. So, field list, you can do that. Okay, so just leave it like that. So we're going to do something here. We are going to prepare a report first, a simple report. We're going to say, I want to know how is my sales manager's performance. Okay, so what you do is you go to the sales manager, you put inside the row, then you take the total amount. Now we don't want to use the gross and so on. Now we just use the total amount first into the value. So this is your report for now. Just highlight them. Okay, so you know now, Chris, how much is their sales and so on. Isn't it the same as what we do earlier? Same, right? It's the same thing. Just put it there. Okay, now let's pay attention on my screen. Have you all got this ready? You put your sales manager in row. You put the value in, the sales total amount in the value. So you get something like this. You highlight. You just use the comma style to format it nicely. Now, can I know whether if everybody is already in the same screen like me, have the same thing? If not, quickly do this. Okay, I have a few yeses. The reason why I do this is, I ask you this is because I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. So Mutiara, I can't get the data. Apa sah tak boleh get the data? Okay, so macam ni tau. Just go to data, get data, right? From file, from Excel. Then pergi pilih nombor 3. Now, if your number 3 file is still open, dia tak bagi punya. You kena tutup file tu. Jangan buka file tu. Tutup file tu. Baru kamu boleh masukkan. So if the file is in use, you cannot load. Ha, Mutiara, I rasa you punya file nombor 3 tadi, you dah buka, tapi you tak tutup. You kena tutup. Ha? Hmm. Okay, sudah. Now, as long as you come to this stage lah, because my topic now is on power, not power pula, pivot table. So pivot table. Now, when you look at your report, okay, when you look at your report, all the label, when I say label means their text lah, can change one. For example, this one is sum of total amount. So my boss want to say, what is our total revenue? So you click up here, you put there total revenue. You can change the label as you wish. Tukar je, jangan takut. Okay. The original name, sum of total amount, may not sound very good. So you can change it to something that, yeah, you can change it to something, anything that makes sense to the report. Can change like yellow. I mean this one. That one is go to design lah. What color you want? Yellow. Yellow lah. Ada. You pergi ke design, you pilih lah. Nak warna pink, pink boleh juga. Tapi asalnya dia bagi biru lah. That one color is very straightforward lah. Kalau you nak buat sendiri, buatlah highlight dan you tukar warna. Mungkin ada yang suka purple. Mana tahu kan? Buat sajalah. Now, don't treat pivot table like something alien. No, they are just very common cell thing. It's just that they generate the report calculation very quickly. Okay? Now, who are all these people? Chris, Erin, Sam, and William. If you don't mention, some people will thought that these are actually the admin staff, or maybe the customer, or maybe the company name. They might be mistaken. So why don't we change up here? These are called the managers. Can change, right? Remember, this is supposed to be something that you present to everybody. Make sure everybody understand the information that you have. Yes, Diana, correct. It's sales manager or manager lah. So, can I ask Diana? Diana, Chris ni, right? This Chris, is it a male or is it a female? Male. So, what is his full name? Because Chris can be a lady's name also. Actually, Chris is who? You say male, right? So it can be Cristiano. Okay, Cristiano. Okay lah, Cristiano. How about Sam? Ini salah aja. Cristiano. I follow one. One say Cristiano. Oh, this is Samuel. Okay, done. So you can change one. However, whatever you change here, it's not going to change your original data. Your original data is still going to be Chris and Sam. Now, remember, this is what you present to your audience. You want to make them understand your report. Don't use nickname. If you put there Chris, they thought, oh, the Christina. No, it's Cristiano. Chris, I don't know how to spell this. Is it correct? Cristiano. Okay. Then Sam, are you talking about Samantha? No, it's actually Samuel. So don't confuse. I mean, you change it to something that clear cut. We are talking about Samuel, not Samantha, kind of thing. Okay, so go ahead and change it. But whatever you change here, it does not affect your raw data. Right? It's for your presentation only. Okay, so don't worry. Now sometimes you are using company name, but the company name so long, Wow, Sandian Berhad and the international. So you can actually cut short it how you normally call the company. You just put there. Don't have to use the full name. You can change it. Okay. There are some people with the name like um, Raja Muhammad Isrin bin Sultan, don't know what, Raja. And so they're very long. So why don't just use the short name will do? Don't need to go and put all the long name every day. Just simplify them. All right. Now, after you got this, then your bosses will ask you for more information. For example, you say, "Hey, I want to know, Cristiano, what is the average sales?" Now got 4.4 million. No, this 4.4 million is actually a build up from many order. So I need to know what is the average. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take again. Kita buat sekali lagi. Kita ambil ni, kita letak sekali lagi kat sini. Take one more time into the value. So take this, put it into value. So you notice I'm at the second column of that particular total. So I already changed this to total revenue. So there will be no conflict already. So what you do now is I want to change this into something called average. So I just right click anywhere in the number, just tell them summarize value by average. There you go. So it's average. So now you put there average or AVG AVG revenue. So this is the average revenue. So Erin, the average revenue is 1.9 thousand. 1.9 thousand. So then they ask, how many transaction altogether? Okay, let's take the total amount one more time. Then we right click this, we tell them, let's summarize value by count. So they will count it for you. Okay, this one we put there number of transaction. So number of transaction. So usually number of transaction don't come with decimal. So we highlight this. We tell them that, okay, let's use number without any decimal. Put them in the center. Like that. You can format them exactly like how you wanted it to be. Now, how long did I take just now to come to this stage? Not long, right? You just keep dropping the same information. Now, you see, I focus on total amount. So I drop the total amount inside multiple times and I just change the way they are supposed to be calculated. How do you want this total amount to be summarized? You tell them, whether it's sum and so on. Go ahead. Now, have you got this three information for me already? Wait, you want yellow, so I change it to yellow. Yellow. Not something so complicated, I would say. Okay, next. Suddenly, your boss says, hey, this Cristiano, 4.4 million, is actually, now how many percent did Cristiano contributed to our business? This 4.4 million is how many percent of the 17 million? Wah, ini kena ambil 4.4 bahagi dengan 17 juta kan? So, again, we take this total amount. Now, this time, I don't want to put it down here, the one, but I want to put it up here. So I take this, I'll just put it right on top. That means before the total revenue. Okay, so you see, I take the guy, I put before the total revenue. Then it will appear in front in column B. If you put at the bottom, then it will go to the column E. So it depends lah. You boleh tukar tempat lah. Okay? Now, once you put it there, now we are not going to summarize the value anymore. We're going to tell them, can you please show this value as percentage of grand total? So it will be shown in percentage. Okay, so you put there percent share. So if you study this report, I didn't use a lot. I only use these 2. So are you able to get this report? Awesome, right? Very quick. Okay, let's do one more lah. Let's do one more. Take the total amount, put on top of the percent share. So now we are pushing everything a bit further away. Now, if I want this column to show me the ranking, so I right click this, show value as, I'll just put there rank largest to smallest, okay, based on the sales manager. So now I have this. So I'm not going to use any percentage here like that. I say no decimal, I put in the middle. So I put here as rank. Now formatting, I don't think I need to tell you, right, how to format. We talked about the formatting earlier already. So I got 1, 4, 3, 2, and 3. Now this is not a very good ranking. Lah. So what I'll do is I'll just right click this and I'll tell them, please sort them according to largest to smallest. Then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm telling them, can you please show me who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3, who's number 4. Now, basically, all this rank, share, total revenue, and all this, it's coming from the same source, which is the total amount. So if you go to this column and you say, oh, can you please sort that by largest to smallest? Also can, no problem. You can go to any of this column and do that. Sort them according to the largest to smallest. Now, is this very complicated? Not really, right? Now, I already have one report. I hope you already have this as well. Then I need my second report. So my second report, I want the same set of information, but copy this. I put it down here. I paste. So I don't want to start all over again, no. So I just copy and paste down here, right? But I don't want to use my sales manager again. I put out the sales manager. I will get some error later, but don't worry. Now I want to put in something called the product subcategory. There you go. This is a product subcategory. So for this particular column, I need to do some changes. Right click, show value as ranking. So all I need to do is I can no longer use sales manager because this is not sales manager. It's going to be your product subcategory. So I click OK. Now I get my percentage. So I just change the title here to sub product subcategory. There you go. So how long did I take to actually create the second report with the same kind of calculation? All right. So this one, again, I will make sure it is not formatted to percentage, no decimal, put in the center. So again, I just right click this, sort by the largest to smallest. There you go. So now I know which product, right, is rank number 10. So suddenly your boss says, can I know which product is ranked number 6? You can already tell who is number 6. Who are my top 5? Top 5. Which are the top 5 products? You can know already, no? Centralized system in a cheap price just because they thought that extracting data from system to Excel are considered. No, it's not manual. No longer manual. Once you know how to do Power Query, it's no longer manual already. You just have to clean up the data once, then you keep loading the data, then you just keep on adding the data. The people who did the data, right, just put in the data. Then you come to your report, just refresh. So there's no longer manual. Now, if you say load it out as Excel is a manual work, right? When you go to the data, you got connect, right? You can actually tell them to take from your other source. If you have Azure, you can connect to all your Azure data and so on. So there are other sources from web lah, from SharePoint list lah. This is where you go and look for the data. So you can go for something called ODBC. You can try and connect to your system if you have the permission lah. Let me assure you lah, not everybody will have the permission because these are all company assets, you see. Not everybody can simply just connect to the data one. Okay, so tough luck lah, we don't have that kind of access. The person who have that kind of permission are quite high ranking already. If you are a normal executive or somebody who at the low ranking a clerk, you got no access to that. So it is the very brutal truth lah, that the trust is not there. Therefore, you can extract out from your system into Excel or CSV file or text file and then load it into your Excel for your reporting. Now, you don't even need to load it in, right? You just connect only. I didn't even put my data here, but I'm generating the report. You guys follow what I'm saying? So you start thinking already, Wada? Very good. You start thinking already. Okay. Your mind is now thinking of how can I build a system. That's very good. So one time build can use for a long time, connected. So first you need to understand what are the report your bosses want to build. Then you go and collect the data, connect it, and then build your report. Okay. Now I'm going to do a few more here. Okay. I'm going to copy this. Then I put it down here. Now I put it down here. Now I want it to be the manager. Okay. I want it to be the manager, but I only want to know the sales. Therefore, I will take up in this report, I'll take out the share, I'll take out the rank, total revenue I will keep, and I remove everything else. I just keep this. This is my total revenue. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I click on this report. I go to insert chart. I click on here. I go to insert chart. I want to build a bar chart. I want to build a bar chart. Okay. Now I don't want all this gray color thingy, so I tell them right click. Can you please hide them? Hide. So they are no longer there. I don't want this. I delete. Okay. I'll make it small. I'll put it down here. So I just put here revenue. This. Okay. I don't want this one. I delete. So now we can see the chart. So if I right click this and sort this largest to smallest, then I can see who is the highest and lowest and so on. So now you notice the chart is built based on the data on top. So if you are very good in charting, just go ahead and just adjust them. Now, whatever you don't need, just press delete on it. Okay, so I don't want this grid line. So I click on this grid line here. I don't want this grid line and delete. So to get this, it's not that complicated, right? Just copy this and put it down here. So I don't want this to be blue color because I'm using yellow. So I click on this. I go to the brush, go to the color, and I choose a yellow color. Okay, no yellow color. So I choose orange. And how come no yellow color? So you don't have yellow color already. Okay, never mind. We choose something like this. Okay, okay lah, closest to orange lah. Of course, if you want to change manually, just click here, go to the format, and then change the color to yellow lah. Manually change lah. Okay, now I copy this, I put it here. Okay. This one, I change it to region, which means I'm going to take out the sales manager, I put the region in. So these are the region. Again, right click, sort them according to the largest to smallest. So I know which region actually champion. So click this guy, but this time I want to put in a pie chart. Okay, so I don't want all this gray color thing. Right click, hide them. So for the legend, maybe you would like to put it at the bottom. So let's make this one smaller first before we decide. Okay. Do you want to put it on the left? If not, you can tell them for the legend, I want to put it at the bottom. So I can click on this one and say, okay, let's make this one smaller. I don't want the font size so big. There you go. So again, this one is revenue by region. Maybe I'll just put REV lah. REV by region. So this one I'll put here REV by manager. You continue to build lor. It's something like a dashboard lah. Right? It's something like a dashboard. Is it very complicated? No, just do the first one. After that, copy and paste and continue to build lor. Okay. Now, for the next one that I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to copy this, copy, I paste it here. Okay, let me bring it closer. Now, I'm going to take away region, okay, and I'm planning to put the date, the invoice date. Like invoice date, I'm going to put it inside the row. Okay. Now, by default, now forget about the data. I think I put in 2 years there, but never mind. We don't want to see so many years, assuming it's only 1 year. So I right click this, right click the year, go to the grouping. You say you don't want the year, you don't want the quarter, you only want the month. So if you hit OK, you have your monthly report. You have your monthly report. Yeah, let me just try to zoom out a little bit. So this is my monthly report. Okay. My monthly report. So once I have this monthly report, again, I change it into a chart. This time I want it to be a column chart. Okay. Column chart. Again, I don't want all this gray color thing. Hide. I don't need this item. I have my monthly report and so on. Okay. So this is how I want this to look like. So I put here monthly revenue, monthly revenue report. There you go. So I just put this on here. I just make it bigger. Okay. Let me check outside. Again, I want this one to be yellow in color. One family lah, all yellow color lah. I don't want the grid line. Remove the grid line. There we go. So do I have a simple dashboard already? Yes, right? Now, do you notice something? I don't want to show the table. So I use my chart to cover the table. No need to show the value lah. Just show them this will do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is for this particular chart, you notice the axis here, they are showing you in hundred thousands and million, right? So I'm going to right click this. I go to this format axis. So in this format axis, they ask you, do you want to display in what? I want to display it in 100,000. This is the 100,000 now. 100,000. So you notice these are in the 100,000s. So no longer showing you long numbers like this. And I also do not want it to have so many decimals. So I go to the number here, the number of decimal, I put it to 0. Okay, there's no zeros already. Okay. And I want this label to be bigger. So just click on it, make it font size bigger. That's it. Okay, so that this part here is not so long anymore. Okay. Then for each of this column, I want it to be a little bit wider. I don't want it to be so far apart. So the gap width. Okay, now how do you do this is you right click this, you go to format data series, you reduce the gap width. You notice now your column become fatter. Become fatter like this. So some people like it big, wider. Some people like it skinny. Go ahead. Now, why I'm doing this is because I want to add something called a data label. The data label I want to put outside in. So at least I know what is the value that I'm looking at. Okay? So this is my dashboard. For those of you who are very well versed with chart one, you just use your skill to build the chart, right? Now, this is not something very powerful yet because everything that you see here are static. Okay, so you notice that this is actually very short, but these names here are very long. Okay, so what I want to do now is I click on this report, I right click it, I go to something called pivot table option. I tell them, please do not auto fit. Don't auto fit. Right click this, pivot table option, don't auto fit. Make sure they don't auto fit. When there are changes, I just want them to maintain this size. Don't change it. Okay, same goes with this guy. If you want to do it for this as well, just make sure it doesn't auto fit. This as well does not auto fit. This guy as well. Pivot table option, don't auto fit. There we go. So I cover this guy. Right now, can I get all of you to stop whatever you are doing for a while? And I want you to look at my screen. Look at my screen. I will go to my first report up here, the manager's report. Okay. And I'm going to this pivot table analyze. Okay, pivot table analyze. And I want you to add in this for me, the slicer. Okay, so I go to the slicer. I want to filter my report based on the customer segment. Customer segment. Okay. I also want to see the report based on the shipper mode, ship mode. Then I click OK. So now suddenly I got two items here. Two items. Okay, so I'm going to put it up here. And yeah, let me choose orange color for this guy. Orange color. Now, I don't want this to be four row like this. So I go to the column. I say, let's divide this into two columns. Increase it to two columns. And I just make it wider. Okay. I increase the height as well so that the button looks fatter, taller. And I do the same for this as well. So I put it here. This one, I'm going to make it as 3 column across here. Then I'm going to make it wider. Okay, let's make it orange as well. Okay, so this is where the magic starts. Okay, this report that you built now, you can filter them using a different segment. So let's just say now our boss says, okay, let's look at the corporate segment. When you click it, you see the number here change to corporate segment. Okay? But do you notice something? This particular slicer only can change the first report. So you ask yourself a question, do you want everything to change? If you say yes, you want everything to change, you just right click that particular slicer, go to the report connection and tell them, okay, these are all the 5 reports that I've created, then I tick everything. I tick everything that, no? So by one click of this slicer, it will change these 5 reports. Let's take a look. If I click corporate, in office, even your chart is dancing now. So if you want the same for your, if you want the same for your ship mode, just right click, report connection, tell them to select all the 5 reports. Done. So I want to know my dashboard based on what? Based on corporate, those deliver by air, express air. This is my report. What about delivery truck? Okay. What about if it's consumer? What about if it's small office and so on? You get what I'm trying to tell you? You can have a very interactive report that you want to show to your audience, your stakeholder. You you know what they normally ask you. What if this? What if that? Then you can use this slicer to help you tune to the report that they want to see. Okay. The good news is the chart is also dancing. So let me just make this one fatter also. So if you want this to have some data, then you have to go to this label. This time I put there inside uh, inside in, but the number is very big. So I need to show the axis first. So this axis, I'll go to the format axis, display this in 100,000, or maybe I'll put in million, a million. These are in million. Okay, so after that, I just tick it off. So you notice the number here. So by manager, you put there M, or put there. So revenue by manager in million. Okay, so you are saying that if I have new data coming in over here, so this is your original data, right? So whatever new data that comes in, you just add them on at the bottom here. No, Sophia? You tambah kat bawah sahaja. Save the file. Lepas tu, datang sini, click, and then do what? Analyze. You can click here, then there is something called refresh all. Refresh all. Ataupun you boleh right click, refresh. Dia akan refresh lah. Apa-apa data yang telah update, dia akan masuk semula lah. No, Sophia? Can you give opinion on difference between the Power BI and Excel? Now, Excel is for entry level lah. That means um, Now in Power BI, they have something called um, they have very strong presence on filter. For example, if I click William, if I click this chat here, William, it will change all the number. Right? They do cross filtering a lot. Excel tak boleh. Okay. And Excel, Excel, if you were to send this file out to everyone pun boleh. Tapi in Power BI tak boleh. You need to publish it to the cloud. That means you need to publish it to Power BI services. Then only you can share. In Power BI desktop tak boleh tau. It's for you to do the report only. You can only share it out when you publish. Okay? So this is very, very entry level. Very, very entry level. Now, once you know how to build all this in Excel, right? You sort of like halfway your feet is halfway inside Power BI already. You just need to know how to kickstart your Power BI, then you will know how to do. So Power BI, the first step is the Power Query. How do you connect the data? So I'm showing you how to connect the data this morning, correct? It's exactly the same. So guys, what do you think? This is what I have planned for you. This is what I have planned for you. One, two, three, four, five. Making slicer and filtering. That's the last part. So your learning baru saja mula tau. From 9 until now, what you are doing is, what I am doing and what you are doing is, I am doing knowledge transfer to you. And you are doing knowledge receiving. You ambil sahaja tau. So the learning starts when you build, when you start to build. And you make mistake, you have problem. That's where the learning will start. Don't give up, continue to explore. And I'm always there to help you. So as long as you are in the WhatsApp group, you can ask questions. Now, for those of them who have left the group, I can't help them already. Lah. It's not that I am going to sell you anything. I am just setting up the group so that we can do communication. You ask me question, I will answer you, and learning will start there. Lah. But some people they just don't like it, so they left. I mean, it's a free country, lah. You can do that. Okay, so this is what I have covered, and I want to share with you this whole day. This whole day, this half a day. So it's almost 1 o'clock. Do you have any question? Remember, ini baru mula sahaja, belum berakhir. It's the end of the session, but the learning just started. Okay, so it's also a practical for you also, right? Now, always embrace error, embrace problem, because with problem you learn better. At least next time you know, oh, cannot do like that. Oh, I missed out one step. Oh, I do this now. You know, so you become very experienced. If everything is smooth sailing, click dapat, when got problem you don't know how to solve. Okay, so it's okay, one. Don't worry about getting yourself into a messy information. So use my data. Lor. If you are worried that your data will be corrupted, then don't use your data yet. Until you are confident with my data, you try it on your data. Okay. So what I need you to do, guys, okay, is this. Take out your phone. And this one is required by, wait, this is a picture. Uh, this is a picture. Can you copy this link? Yeah, so I need all of you to take out your phone and scan the QR. Now, this is not a scam, don't worry. This one is actually the evaluation feedback for this particular course. I perlukan kamu bagi saya feedback supaya kita dapat majukan diri lah. I just need to improve myself as well. So from time to time, we will be holding this. I hope you will join me again. Okay. Now, for those of you who are interested There will be another session of this on the 4th of April. 4th of April. Okay. This session is on a Saturday. It's actually dedicated to those who cannot come during workday. So they come on Saturday. There was a request to come to have a Saturday session. So if you want to revise, you can just come back and join us again. No problem. Okay. So May have just put up the form link. So please click the link if you don't want to scan. Click the link. You will go into a Google form and you submit. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you behind. So we are in the WhatsApp group. We are in the WhatsApp group. So just what do you call that? Contact me through the WhatsApp group. So for those of you who don't have are not in the WhatsApp group, you can look for me in this number. So my name is Kelvin Ng. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and also a Microsoft Office specialist. I'm also a Google certified trainer. Yeah, I my phone number is actually the phone number in the WhatsApp group one, same one. So we keep in touch lah. Now the e-certificate from NTW will be sent to you, right? So make sure that the name that you attend this class is the same as the name. Otherwise, can't match, then you won't get already. What is that, Mr. Tiong? Sorry, can you repeat? Sorry, I must have missed it.